Heeelang batho ba Modimo, welcome to the 4th episode of season 2 of Confessions of a Consecrated Cutie. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba. Yeah, if you don't already know who I am Heeelang, but on the social media streets, I am known as one and only Rory, period, okay? Kind of a TikTok sensation, if I do say so myself, so do check me out on all platforms to see who I am outside of the blue corner. Do you get what I'm saying? Please make sure that you like this video if you're watching on YouTube, so that YouTube can suggest this video to other people, so that more people can get what I would say is wisdom. So yeah, let's get into this week's episode, okay? Last week we were talking about loneliness, right? And we were talking about loneliness in, generally in companionship, in different stages of life, whatever. Today we are going to talk about loneliness in the romantic sense, and just something that I don't think that we really okay, I've been saying this for every episode. I don't think nobody really talks about it. I'm sure if you dig deep enough in the internet and those lessons I learned in my 20s videos, you'll probably see all the things that I talk about, because I don't think that anything is original. I really think that, as people, we go through I digress. We are talking about loneliness. We are not talking about plagiarism. What I want to talk about today is loneliness in terms of relationship, but not necessarily loneliness in terms of relationship. What I want to talk about is, are you really ready for the love that you're saying you're ready for? And how do you know that you're ready? Is there ever a way to really know that you're ready? And can you ever be fully ready? You ready, B? Let's go get them. I've been single for more than 6 years, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, no, not 6 years, because I am not that old. I think I've been single for 4 years now, so I am very used to it. I am comfortable. So how do you know when you're ready? Who you think he is? Yes, you never know. But seriously though, I've been single for 4 years, and this I'm comfortable in it. And last season I was talking about how, I have been intentionally putting myself out there, and I don't know if you guys remember, but I spoke about how I'm putting myself out there. And if you know one thing about me, you can see on my TikTok, you can see on my YouTube videos, you can see on my Instagram stories, whatever. One thing about me, if there is a thing about me, is obviously, okay, Shab here, I think singleness low-key became my brand at a point. So over it. I think I kind of worked my way out of that, thank the good Lord. But basically, that is my life, right? I'm a single girl and I talk about it. And a part of me being a single or whatever, I openly talk about I am ready. Whatever that means, I am ready to meet a man. And honestly, if I'm gonna have a real and honest conversation with you guys right now, I'm really gonna open up, and I want you guys to hear my heart, right? I want you to hear my heart. And this is a safe zone. The reason why it's called confession, so you can confess to people you trust, right? This is a safe zone, and I don't need any of your judgment. Thank you. As I was saying, I think what I meant by that is I want the good things that come with having a man, right? I want my vase to always be full. My vase has been empty for months now. And okay, fine, I can get myself flowers, but like realistically, guys, I cannot chelete budget thing ya reka mablomo. Ka chelete o ne ke reka mablomo, ke reka snack nyana, ke reka le zimba, ke reka bagel. You understand? So there isn't money in my account for flowers. Understand? So that is the gap that this gent was going to fill. Do you understand? Roll with me, follow me. That I love. Oh, now my phone is gonna hear me. Now this is all I'm gonna see on TikTok. I love. Oh God, I even these days I've been saying I'm definitely in my creator era. I have to start going to more events where creatives are, because I think I want to be with a creative, because I just think we'd make, I forgot to wear my ring. I just think we'd make so much sense. Like, have you seen couple content from creatives? Old to young, they just never miss. Anyways, couple content. I love couple content on TikTok specifically. Instagram makes me cringe a little because it's too perfect. I love the content. So I would love to have that content, but I don't know how I'm going to have that content when I don't want to have a public relationship. I think I have done one of those videos before. It was very cute, and I kept watching it for myself, so I never did post it. So I guess that's what I'll do. I'll just not post them. I'll make them and I'll keep them to myself. I like that. I like, somebody who makes your problems theirs. Like if you're like, oh my God, like my door won't lock, for example. Wajampa ulukisa mnyako, he jumps, he fixes the door. Oh, I'm stranded, I don't know how to change a tire. There he goes. Right? He comes, he saves you, right? You're knight in shining armor, right? You're a damsel in distress. I think that's what I want. Nobody tells you that that's not what it is. I mean, I think Michelle Obama tried to tell us the other day, and it didn't go well. And I don't have opinions on that. Please don't ask me. Like, I don't have opinions. But she tried to tell us, and I don't know. I think people just want sunshine and roses in romantic relationships, and I am people. I am people. I don't want to communicate my expectations. I don't want to tell you how what you did hurt my feelings because 1, 2, 3. I don't want to tell you how I feel about you. Like, I don't want to have arguments. I don't want to have disagreements. I just want vibes, hugs, cuddles. That's what I want. I want the joy, the happiness, And let me explain something to you, right? I have been single a long time, and not to say that in this single time, like, you guys know, I go to therapy. I have my psychologist that I see, I journal, I pray, I go to church. Like, I am working on myself, right? Or have worked on myself. Fine, I still have body issues, right? Fine, I still have body issues. A lot, and desirability issues with myself. But for the most part, like, I'm there. Like, I'm getting there. Like, I'm there where in theory I can be like, you know what? I'm ready for a relationship. But you can see and know a lot of things in theory, but application, that's that's where you lose the marks, right? And I'm gonna make examples with stuff like death, for example. We all know that death is inevitable. You can't avoid death. We're all gonna die, right? But when someone dies, it hit you. You know about it in theory, but when it's actually happening, it's like crazy, right? Let's say you write an exam. You've been doing bad the whole year. You write the exam. You feel hoping. No, right? You know you're gonna fail. You know you're gonna fail. You know you're gonna fail in your heart, right? You know it in theory. Practically, you open your marks, fail, right? You're shocked. Not just shocked, but it's like, wow, right? The theory versus the practical, two different things, right? Even high school, right? You know about university in theory, right? You watching Grownish, you watching, I don't know what other high school, university thing there is to watch, right? You thinking, I got it on luck. You get there, you're shocked. Because theory versus practical, two different things, right? And you know what? Maybe you guys are going to say, oh, why am I focusing on the negatives? Let me bring in the positives. Since you guys are so optimistic. I know you guys are so optimistic. My people are optimistic because there's no person in the world who listens to a fun, loving, and bubbly person in their spare time and isn't optimistic. I'm gonna tell you guys. I know you guys are optimistic. Positively, let's say you graduate, you get your degree. It's time to go work, right? You know, in theory, you have to go work, and you know the theory behind the work. But when it's time to do the work, wow. You know what I mean? Let's say you get a promotion at work. You know, you've wanted this promotion. You have wanted this promotion, and yes, you worked your butt off to get this promotion. You get this promotion, right? Now it's time to do promotion things, right? Wow, right? You get it's like you know the deep end of the pool exists. You know the deep end of the pool exists, and you've seen people jump into the deep end. So you know people can jump into the deep end, and they won't necessarily die. Some drown, some they don't drown. You know it exists. But then you get thrown. And then you get thrown into. But then you get thrown into the deep end, right? And you thrown in, and that just made listen. You must see how you get yourself to the sides of the pool, or you swim. And that's how I feel like the theory of being ready to be in a relationship versus the practical part of it goes. You know, in theory, I am ready to be in a relationship, right? Practically, right? You thrown into the deep end. That's how I feel, because think about it, like in every single situation and in anything in generally in life, you, in order to grow or whatever, you taken out of your comfort zone, right? My current comfort zone is being single, and I'm not just saying that because I have an issue with commitment. No, like, just listen to me, like generally, right? Everybody's like, you watch rom-coms, you see people in their life. Oh, I don't know if he's the one for me. Oh my god, it's the first time I feel like this. I'm so scared. Because the comfort in being single, it's what we're used to, it's what we know. This is how I live, this is the decisions I make. No conflict. You understand that? You can't be upset at 8:30 in the morning because somebody didn't send you a good morning text, because you know you're not getting any text. Do you understand? You're used to that comfortability, right? So How do you like what I'm trying to say is, I don't think there's ever a way that you really know that you're ready unless you throw into it, like the job promotion, like after the degree, like being thrown into a pool that's your swimming lesson. I don't think you ever really know when you're ready. You must just go for it. And the only way to go for it is to actually go for it, is to actually do it. Right? Like, I know I'm making sense. Is to actually do it, but at what cost? Right? Because if you get to a point where you're like, you know what, I think this is just me being in the comfort zone, let me try. You are trying at the expense of someone else's heart. Right? Is it worth the risk? If you know you don't want somebody to try with your heart, right? Because the Bible says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. I love myself enough to know I don't want my heart to be broken, right? Then I don't want to be responsible for breaking the heart of someone else, because I thought I was ready, but the only way to know you're ready is to actually get in and try, and then you fail. So, are you really ready to relationship? Right? That's that's the dilemma that I am faced with right now, right? And I was telling my friend the other day that I don't get anxious with things like my future. Am I going to be successful? Am I going to have money? No. I get anxious with things that involve people, right? I need to be somewhere at a certain time. Somebody must fetch me at a certain time. Anxiety, right? Is this person going to be here at that certain time that they said they were going to be here at? Can I trust this person to, drive safely to get me to where I'm going, right? Those are my issues. I have issues. My anxiety comes from trusting people, right? And in order to have a good, meaningful relationship, you have to trust the person enough to be vulnerable with them, right? You're vulnerable about your needs. You're vulnerable about your expectations. You're vulnerable about your hurts. They spoke to you a certain way. You don't like to be spoken to that way. You need to be able to tell them and hope that they don't say no. Right? I hope that they don't just look at you and go, no. Like, basically, they don't just watch you drown. Like, you have to be vulnerable. You have to tell the person, listen, dog, I like you. I like you romantically. And you have to hope that they don't say no. And that's my problem. I cannot put my hope in a man. No. Jesus is where I draw the line. Jesus is where I draw the line, because there's just so much at risk, right? And honestly, I think the root of some of it is pride, right? Yes, because how dare you not like me back, right? How dare you not think the way I think, because the way I think is better than the way everybody thinks. Oh. Oh. Right? So, like, truly and honestly speaking, I just think that I am scared. I'm scared of rejection. I'm scared of the work aspect that comes with being in a relationship, right? Like, actually, working on your communication, actually working on not taking things so personally. Like, not everything is an attack on your character or you as a person or whatever. For example, it's just very hard. And I think the whole thing that like this thing involves people is very anxiety. It's just very anxiety inducing, just, you know, the thought and just the concept of trusting someone with your vulnerability, right? And there's only so far you can get. It sounds like a broken sentence, but there's only so far you can get without vulnerability, right? And without eventually having to make that choice to be vulnerable with, you know, someone. Especially if you want the long run, and if you want to build meaningful things. So I don't know, like, I didn't come to a conclusion to this because I literally don't know. I think maybe a part of me is just like, what if I just want the fun aspect of it? Like, life isn't a rom-com, but even in rom-coms they have those like defining moments, right? We managed to get through this, so we are going to make it. So I don't know, it's just hard. And I think that's my issue with commitment, because at any point you can commit to a person, and, you know, like I said in the last episode, people change, people, you know, evolve and become different people, and sometimes you can, like, you know, break up or whatever. You can develop into people, and a person can be like, you know what, this is not what I signed up for. No. And now you shattered, your heart is broken because you saw a future, you saw, you know, love with this person, or, you know, you see love with this person, and then life happens, right? So that's what I really want to pose today. Like, are we really ready? But how will we know we're ready unless we try to see if we're ready, but then at the expense of other people's hearts? Is other people's hearts worth eventually finding the person that God intended for you to be? We have the responsibility of guarding our hearts. How do you guard your heart while also simultaneously, that means at the same time, opening ourselves up to receiving love romantically, you know? And also, how do you get to a point of trusting somebody with your quote-unquote heart? That's what I posed to you today. How do you know when you're ready, not at the expense of other people's hearts? Is there a way of being ready without just jumping into the deep end? Let me know. Let me know in the comment section. What are your thoughts and views? If you're the type of person, I've never had a long relationship, right? I don't even think I've made 6 months, and it makes me wonder: am I just not willing to put in the work, or were those people just not for me? How do we even know that? There are so many question marks with relationships. We know red flags, right? How do we identify green flags? How do we know when to stick it through? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below if you're watching on YouTube. Let me know in a review if you're listening. Continue the conversation on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and follow me there, because I'm amazing and you get to interact with me in real time. But yeah, that's what I've been going through. So yeah. Also, that's all I got today. I'll see you guys, or you guys will hear me next episode, next week. Thank you so much for getting this far. Go tell your friends about me. What a difficult conversation, child. Bye. Pelican tadi trabataka. Pelican tadi piri lima kunutu.